Hey guys, it's Melanie. So I'm actually totally sick today, but I still wanted to make this video because I've been meaning to do it for a really long time. So I'm going to fight through my sore throat, which feels like it's on fire right now. I hate being sick. I'm such a whiner. But anyway, that aside, I wanted to share this video with you guys because I've been meaning to do it for a really long time and I don't know why I've been putting it off. But I want to share with you how I deal with my clogged pores or I guess blackheads. So before I do that, I do want to tell you about my skin type so that you know, when comparing yours to mine, like you have a sense of like why I do what I do and whether that may work for you or not. So I'm super oily. I have been oily my entire life. When I became a teenager, my skin like went into like oil production like overload and has not stopped since. I will say in the last couple of months, I have become what I would think maybe considered combination skin, in that like I have dry patches on the corners of my mouth right here and around my nostrils. I don't know why those two places were chosen to have the dry spots, but whatever. So I would consider myself to probably have combination skin now. But I will say that the rest of my face, like T-zone for the most part, like I'm still oily right here, definitely oily in my forehead, super oily in my cheeks. I'm just a grease ball, like basically all over the place with the exception of here and here. So, yeah, it's very, very oily. I don't want to say that it's just like, you know, like I get a little bit shiny throughout the day. Like I get very shiny throughout the day. So because I do have this overproduction of oil, I have fairly enlarged pores. So you can definitely see them. I don't know if you'll be able to see them on video, but I have enlarged pores on my cheeks, my nose, to some extent on my forehead, and on my chin, although my forehead and my chin aren't nearly as bad. The worst is definitely my nose and my cheeks. So to deal with that, I have a couple of different products that I use periodically to help clear the gunk out of my pores. I do use a Clarisonic every single evening. That has been a lifesaver for me. I just basically use it with whatever face wash du jour that I happen to have available. And I use it on the 2-minute setting, and I massage my skin with that every single night. It helps get rid of the makeup. It cleans the gunk out of my pores. It's not perfect. It doesn't do everything, but it has made the biggest difference in my skin long term. I've been using the Clarisonic for probably about 2 years now, and I absolutely love it, and I will not be without it. So that is the first recommendation that I can make. Now, I will say a lot of people say that they break out with it. I do believe that that's probably due to a little bit of like a purging process that can potentially happen. And I had that and I fought through it. And now, I mean, I rarely break out ever at all. I would say I'm pretty lucky in that I might get like the occasional, like I have a little tiny like pimple right here. And then I have like a couple on my neck. But for the most part, I rarely ever break out anymore. And I definitely think that that is due to the Clarisonic. So love that thing. Absolutely an investment, but an investment worth making. So I highly recommend it. Now, it's not perfect. It doesn't get everything. So from time to time, there's a couple of different products that I use to help get rid of stuff and give me sort of a clean slate that I can go with for a few more weeks before I have to do one of these steps again. So the first thing that I'm going to tell you guys about, and I am sure that the estheticians out there are probably going to be like, no, don't ever put that on your face. I love these things. They are the Biore nose strips, and they also have face strips. This is what they look like. So it comes on a little plastic sheet. Now, this is essentially, it turns into like a paper mache. I'll tell you how to apply it in a minute, but it turns into like paper mache, and there's like a glue on the back side of it that adheres to your skin and to the gunk that you have in your pores. Because my pores are fairly large, like there is a decent amount of surface area for this glue to grab onto in terms of like the blackheads and like just sebaceous filaments and stuff like that that I have in my skin. This I would not recommend for somebody that has sensitive or delicate skin. It could absolutely damage your skin. I have really super tough skin, so this is not a problem for me. I have used these for years, and I swear by them. They are a little bit expensive. A box of like 6 or 8 of them will cost you somewhere around like $7 to $9, depending on which drugstore you buy them from. I never purchased the generic ones, just because I don't think that they work as well. The couple that I've tried just didn't really have as much, like, I guess, oomph in terms of like being able to like pull the stuff out of my pores. So how you use this, there's a specific way that you need to use these in order to get like the maximum results. First thing is you need to have a clean face. So wash your face, use your Clairsonic, use your Olay Pro X, use your little washcloth, whatever it is that you use. Just make sure that you start out with clean skin. The second thing that you need to do is essentially steam your skin a little bit, but in a really gentle way. So the best way for me to do that is just to get a washcloth, run it, under warm water, and then I apply that to the areas where I am looking to like open up my pores a little bit more. So the steam or the warmth will help to like kind of open your pores, and it makes the blackheads and stuff a little bit easier to get out in terms of like them sticking to the glue. So I do that for a few minutes before I apply the nose strip or face strip. I only buy the nose strips. Like I don't think there's a difference between the face strips and the nose strips. So I always just get the nose strips, and I will use those all over my face. But then you need to make sure that your face is nice and wet, because this glue needs to be activated with water. So what you're going to do is you're going to peel this off the little plastic piece. You are going to take the side that comes off of the plastic piece, make sure your skin is wet, place it on your skin, really press it in so that it like attaches to your skin, and then, kind of work the bubbles out and nice and smooth. And then you are essentially just going to leave that on there for about 10 minutes. Now, it will get to be like a paper mache type of like feeling. It'll get really hard, kind of like a cast almost. Then you just need to take either end and just peel off a little bit and then slowly work your way towards the center. And it's disgusting. It's oddly satisfying, but disgusting. Like when you look at the stuff that is on the back of the pore strip when you take it off of your nose or wherever it is that you're using it on your face. It definitely takes the majority of the blackheads and the sebaceous filaments and hair, peach fuzz that I have on my face off. No, I don't get stubble when the peach fuzz grows back. I am not a man, so I don't have that type of hair growth on my face. It's just like if you were to shave your face as a woman, it wouldn't grow back stubbly. You just don't have that kind of hair on your face. So that is not an issue for me if that's something that you're worried about. But you will just see like a forest of crap on this thing if you do it correctly. If you don't use enough water or you don't steam your face a little bit first, like the results aren't going to be as good. Or if you just don't have a lot of stuff in your pores and there's nothing to grab, then you're not going to see a lot of gunk on here. I see a fair amount because my pores are fairly large and they do fill up quickly. Now, here's kind of like the bad thing about this is that my pores don't shrink completely to where they don't allow new oil and, like dirt and stuff to get into my pores and then fill up eventually again. This is something that is one of those like, you gotta use it continuously. I only use these about once every couple of weeks. It's something that I used to use on a weekly basis, but it was just too much for my skin. So I use these maybe once every couple of weeks, and they do the job. I like them. I don't find them to be irritating on my skin because, again, I have really tough skin. So I am sure that the estheticians out there would absolutely tell you to not use these, but I tell you what, I have gone and had facials several times in my life, and it is much more painful for me to have extractions done by an esthetician than it is for me to use these at home. When I leave after a facial, I have bumps everywhere because they are like, you know, they're like pushing the blackheads and stuff out of your pores. That irritates my skin more than this does, and I think I get better results from that than I do with a facial. That's just me personally. Some people get better results with a facial, so do what works best for you. The second thing that I use, and I have done a review on this, I haven't used this in at least over a month. I need to start using it again. It's the Mario Badescu Silver Powder. And this is something that you can find on the Mario Badescu website, or you can find it at Ulta. This is an interesting product. It's just got 3 ingredients. It is titanium dioxide, calcium carbonate, and zinc oxide. It's a white powder. You can see that there. What you do is you take a wet, a damp, what do you call those things? Cotton pad. And you basically press it into here, and then you spread the product over your face. You leave it on for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then you have to take it off with an astringent. So I usually use the toner from the Tea Tree line at the Body Shop. Works great. You can use whatever toner you have available, but you can't get it off with water. Like it won't come off your face with water. Now what this does for me is it tends to like shrink my pores, and it also sort of like pushes out the blackheads or like clogged stuff that's in my pores. I can literally like kind of run my, oh, this is disgusting, like my fingernails over like the areas that I've treated, and like the blackheads just kind of roll out. Like I said, it's gross, but I don't necessarily always have to do that. I can just take it off, and like over time they work their own way out over the next like day or two. So this can be drying. I don't recommend it for people who have severely dry skin. I think that it would probably be irritating, but it's something that you can do on a weekly basis that isn't quite as harsh as maybe the nose strips would be. The silver powder doesn't really have a smell, and it doesn't have a smell, but it works well. It doesn't seem like it would, but it actually does. It's kind of weird. Like when I first got it, I was like, what the hell is this going to do? Like it's not going to do anything, but it absolutely does work. So you just have to make sure to wet the cotton ball first, or cotton pad, put it in there, put on a fairly thin layer. It's going to be hard to spread. It is not like, it's not the easiest product in the world to use, and not the cleanest, because this powder does kind of tend to like flake off as you're wearing it, but I think it's totally worth the effort, and it does dry out my pores to where like the gunk just kind of wants to come out. I don't know if blackheads are alive and they have wants, but anyway, mine don't want to stay in my face when I use this. So this is an awesome product for me. Those are the 2 things that I will do. I don't squeeze, I don't pick, because my skin gets irritated when I do that. So if I feel like I have some blackheads that I want to get rid of, I will try either of these 2 methods, and they work really well for me. Again, use at your own discretion. Some people may have a bad reaction to the nose strips. They may have a bad reaction to this. Just keep that in mind. Something that works for me won't necessarily work for you. But anyway, that's what I do. It works for me. It's something that I only need to do once a week or once every couple of weeks. It doesn't take a lot of time. Maximum for either one of these is probably 10 or 15 minutes, and I'm done with it. And my pores are kind of cleaned and ready to go for another week or 2. So that's what works for me. If you guys have any questions, definitely leave me a comment down below. And I'm sorry if I rambled a little bit. I'm really not feeling very well today. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.